After 4 years of being on the road, my kids don't want to go back to public school. Hello, students.
Good day,
Hello,
teacher.
Good day. 20 tips of things that I have learned along the way to get your kids learning and to enjoy it. Welcome back to No Ordinary Path. I am Kristen, and this behind me is my house. This is a 37-foot travel trailer, and this is our classroom for the moment. It's actually just the classroom where they get their physical schoolwork done. The rest of their schooling is done all over the place. The world is basically our classroom. We have now been on the road for going on 4 years. So this is their 4th year in homeschool or road school. And let me tell you, when we started, I never imagined myself as a homeschool teacher. I didn't think I had it in me, and I wasn't even sure if my kids would like it or if I would like it. A little disclaimer, this video is not about bashing public school teachers. I love you. You have an amazing job. I have so much mad respect for you, so this is not a bash public school systems video. Homeschooling today, since the pandemic began, has spiked to about 6 or 7% of students across the United States. Pre-COVID, it was around 3%. And in numbers, that translates to 3.7 million students. And some of those parents are brand new to homeschooling and might need a little bit of encouragement so that they don't lose their minds, because that's where I was 4 years ago. Let's go on inside there, because I don't have them memorized and she needs to use my hotspot. All right, here are our 20 ideas for road school, homeschool, unschool, you name it. These are 20 ideas on ways that you can help enhance your kids' learning. Number 1, virtual museums. You've probably discovered this over the course of the pandemic, but a lot of museums have exhibits and extra goodies and things online for you to go look at. We went to a museum in North Carolina, and they had a program where you could earn like badges or whatever online. The badges included getting out and going on hikes. They were writing a story about an insect for one of their challenges. Second thing is the BOONSHOFT Museum Pass. This is a museum that is in Dayton, Ohio, which we did a whole video on. You can check that video out up here. A museum pass that gets you into that particular museum, but it also has reciprocity privileges at science museums across the country, zoos, and children's museums. It is such a money-saving game changer, so go check that out. Number 3, Junior Ranger programs. You guys know how much we love Junior Ranger programs. They are at every single national park. You can cover science, you can cover history, and the kids get a memento, usually free. Some parks charge money, but very little, like $3 or something like that. And they fill out their whole book, so they're practicing their writing and their skills in the booklet itself while learning about that topic. And then they have, if you collect them and you can put them on a banner, we have a wall of badges. I have been dying to show you guys. I've done a TikTok on it. They have over 200 badges on this wall. Pretty amazing. Number 4 is libraries, especially if you are any kind of contract worker, travel nurses especially, but maybe you're like in construction or your family is traveling and you have contracts in a certain area for a set amount of time. For us, it's a 3-month period of time. It is the perfect opportunity to get a temporary library pass at the library and then utilize that to go check out books or just go hang out there. Okay, number 5 is used bookstores. This kind of goes along with the library, but if you don't have a library in the area or you're not going to be there for very long, another option is to go to a used bookstore, get a bunch of books, and then return them to a different used bookstore. Now, you're not going to get the same value that you paid for them, obviously, but you will get some credit, and your kids might think it's really neat to walk in and lay all the books that they've read in a box and get to go shopping for new books. Number 6 is factory tours. There are factory tours all over the country. We did a lot of factory tours when we were up in Baltimore. The Martin's Chip factory tour that we took it from a truck full of potatoes that just dumped down into a machine. And they got to watch it from the potato all the way to the bagging process and shipping it out. and it was fascinating. Just look around in your area, get on Google and search it, and I promise you the factory tours are really cool. Number 7 is a wildlife sanctuary. We have been to many wildlife sanctuaries. I think one of the coolest experiences was the wolf sanctuary that was out in Tonopah, or near Tonopah here in Arizona. A really cool experience to go in and just see this wildlife that has been rescued, the wolves that were used as pets, and they can't survive in the wild anymore, and they are at this sanctuary, and you get to learn so much about the animals. Number 8 is scavenger hunts. This one is something that we like to do when we're on hikes. So we buy booklets that are laminated, and you can find them a lot of the times at national parks. We have one for rocks, we have one for birds, we have one for flowers, and we have one for different types of cacti. And what we've done is we just take this little booklet with us and a dry eraser, and then when we're out on hikes, we'll have the kids circle the things that they find, and it's a really cool way for them to identify the things that we're seeing and keep them engaged on our hike. Scrap building. This one is super fun. In North Carolina, we stayed with a wonderful family, and they had this get together with all these kids, and they had all this recycling stuff everywhere. And the object was like, what did you call it? Trash Panda? I don't know. It's like Trash Panda Day or something like that. And they built whatever they could come up with all these recyclable materials. Number 10 is audiobooks. We like to listen to audiobooks in the car. When we're traveling, John and the boys love to listen to audiobooks, and any kind of listening to books helps them to better understand, like for reading comprehension, and gets them more interested in wanting to read books. So if you're struggling with reading, audiobooks is a really great thing. Number 11, Ask Anything Day. This is where, really we do this a lot of the time just organically, but we used to have a specific day where we would just make it a point to just ask me anything. What are you curious about? What are you interested about? If I don't know the answer, which I normally don't, we will look it up on Google together, and I'm going to teach you how you can search for things and what kind of sources that you need to take your information from and what sources are not reliable. Number 12, Documentary Day. Netflix has a ton of documentaries, and it is a really great source for anything that you're interested in. You could also obviously check out YouTube, or just search for documentaries based on whatever your kids are interested in. Number 13 is Chart Something. It could be anything. One year we did a skate park tour here in the Phoenix area, and I had the kids come up with a chart, and we rated each one based on different categories, and we made this whole chart based on like all the parks and what we loved about them, and we gave them scores, and then we tallied up their information. I made a video about it. You can check it out here. Number 14, Explore Energy, or just how the world runs, essentially. We visited the Hoover Dam, we went to a solar field, we took a tour at one of the nuclear power plants here, but we learned all about energy, and it was really neat so that the kids could fully understand like what it means when we flip a light switch, where that electricity comes from. Number 15 is Plan a Service Project. The really cool thing is when your kids come up with the service project, and then you help them figure out how they can implement that project. Number 16 is to write letters and postcards to your family. We did send a postcard from the Arctic Circle in Alaska, which was so cool. And this girl here, she wrote it to her cousin and shipped it, mailed it right there from the Arctic Circle to Kansas, which was pretty awesome. Number 17 might seem really obvious, but play board games. There are a lot of board games that teach you actual skills. You play Monopoly. Even games that seem like that they would have no real life application might still have strategy skills and critical thinking skills that are needed. Number 18 is a gratitude journal, and they don't have to do it necessarily in a notebook. I like doing it in a notebook because it helps them to work on their handwriting skills, which my kids need a little bit of help with, to be honest. However, you can also do it on the computer because they also need to work on their typing skills. So number 19 is another type of journal, and that is a nature journal. And this is not necessarily just writing, but when we go on a hike, another thing that you can do is take a journal with you, and you can write about what you're seeing or what you're feeling, or you can do rubs like rock rubs or bark rubs. Number 20 is quiet time. quiet time for us is no longer naps. My kids don't nap, but it's a time of the day where you can have downtime where you don't have any electronics.
I draw when I have quiet time.
You're right. I do think that it's important for road schoolers because so much of our life is go, 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 do this, do this, do this, that we really need that downtime. I really hope that this has helped you because when I started, I couldn't think straight about how I was going to incorporate school. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm gonna go finish helping this little miss here get her schooling done. I don't really help her much. I really just help keep her on track. She's a really smart girl.
You have to say it.
All right, we'll see you out there.
Click the button and subscribe.